Shalom, all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught me this truth, and peace to many Akim, and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, Connecticut, and the Akim has in their life daily pushes truth for the city, and a few Aquas listen and learning. Shalom. Once again, my name is Inon with GMS Detroit Bar Camp. Pray this video is edifying to the hopeful elect, to the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, the folk corner of the whole world. And this video is on the chariots. They call them UFOs or unexplained aerial phenomenons. But we know what they are. They are the chariots of Yahawashi. Those are vehicles that the Most High and the angels fly in. You know, and he don't need them, but it's just a show of power. You know, is what it is. Filmmaker. This is from New York Post. Filmmaker declares the existence of UFOs no longer a question, as Doc probes 80 years of secrets. And filmmaker behind the documentary exposing an 80-year global cover-up of extraterrestrial existence claimed that U.S. government is part of a secret Cold War race to reverse engineer alien technology. And we know that those are not aliens. We know those are the angels flying in the thing. Director and producer Dan Farah, who's also produced the sci-fi blockbuster Ready Player One, told Fox News' Brett Baier that his newest film, Age of Disclosure, would lean into the work already done by the government whistleblowers, even feature interviews with high-staking officials like Secretary of State Mark Rubio. Every single person I interviewed made it very clear that it was no longer a question whether this was a real situation. It is a very real situation, Farah told the outlet. Farah claimed that the majority of those within U.S. government, including Congress and President, has been kept out of the loop, while other powers that be ran in a secret race to reverse engineer technology of non-human origins, all in competition with adversarial nations like Russia and China. And there goes a chariot right there. There's a plane in the background. You know, they try to say they unexplained aerial phenomena, but we know what they is. According to the scriptures give us an understanding of what those devices, what those vehicles are. In the last few years, senior members of Congress, senior members of the administration, thanks to whistleblowers, have found out what's been going on, and they are all now in pursuit of the truth for themselves and for the American people. Farad told the network, Farad told the outlet that each person he interviewed over 3 years spent making a film, including a whopping 3/4 senior members of the United States government, military, intelligence community, all had direct knowledge of this issue with extreme credibility. Some even appear in the trailer, including Rubio, who alludes to the mystery entails entering airspace over restricted nuclear facilities. Former Defense Intelligence Agency Senior Jay Shelton, and that's Rubio, Secretary of State, National Security Advisor of one of Trump's, buddies, you know, but and it's the first country that cracked the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come. Stratton warns in the trailer. Farah echoed alarm and asserted joking about the power and the resource of the UAPs or unapplied anomalous phenomenon is equivalent of laughing at a terrestrial threat. The fear here is that another nation wins the race and it could change the lay of the land in terms of power, Farad told the outlet. Additionally, he called the New Age UAP race the Manhattan Project on steroids. So that's it. Another picture of a chariot. You know, you can see videos of these chariots. The chariot is flying and they're shooting at it, and it ain't even affecting it. Matter of fact, the chariot is dodging it. United States secret testing production of nuclear weapons during World War II was codenamed the Manhattan Project. This is the trailer. This is the movie thing going into it on the chariots. But hey, we know what they are because we have the breakdowns of what they are. You know, in fact, the prophet Zechariah didn't see a flying scroll; he seen a chariot. And this is Zechariah 5:1. This is always a go-to for us. I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe. He said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. And also, these chariots also going to be our delivering vehicle. They're going to gather us up, the hopeful elect, in the 1/3, pursuant to Matthew 24 and uh, and 27 on down. Hey, this is the vehicles that Yahawashi and the angels are going to gather up the hopeful elect in the 1/3. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. And he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that still shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it. And hey, these are the chariots. These are the vehicles that the Lord. Matter of fact, when Yahawashi left, he left in a chariot, and he's coming back in like so manner. You know, and I will bring it forth, saith Yahawah of hosts, and it shall enter the house of the thief. And it's literally talking about Esau, because Esau and all you other heathen nations, y'all have Israelite foreigners in your land, and y'all got to pay for everything that y'all did to us. Make us work for no pay, put us in slavery. Hey, everything that you did to us, you got to pay for it. Hey, the check is due when Yahawashi and the angels, when Yahawashi returned with his giant armada to take out the rulers of this world. He's going to take all power and authority down, pursuant to First Corinthians, the 15th chapter. And enter the house of him that sware falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and consume him with the timbers thereof and the stones thereof. And when Most High finally allowed Yahawashi and the angels to return, Yahawashi is going to be making war with these nations. That's the reason why the nations are going to be in fear. It ain't no little green men, you know. In fact, this is Acts 1 and 9. And go straight to the point. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld him, he was taken up in a cloud and receded out of their sight. And that cloud is a metaphor for a chariot. You know, that's not a figurative cloud. That's a chariot. You know, a UFO, a UAP, what they ignorantly call those things, but it's a chariot of Most High. You know, and while they steadfastly looked towards the heaven, he went up, and behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. These two men that stood by them in white apparel were angels. You know, and you know they see this stuff happen all the time, but it is something new for the apostles, and the angels had to really get on them in the next verse, which also said, "Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into the heavens? This same Yahawashi, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall come so in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." And the same way he left, the same way Yahawashi is going to return. He's going to return into a chariot. And a cloud is a metaphor for the chariot. Uh, 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 um, uh, 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 um, uh, a whirlwind. These are all metaphors for the chariot. It's a white horse. This is Jeremiah 14, 4 and 13. Behold, he shall come up as the clouds, and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. And God, one chariot of the Most High stayed with the children of Israel 40 years, 40 years, never took a break, stayed with them the whole time while they was in the wilderness. These chariots are going to tear up, man, it's going to come. When Yahawashi come, the scriptures say the slaying of the Lord going to be many, because it's going to be hitting with them concentrated energy beams, some lasers, and turning people into powder. These things is going to happen, whether you perceive it or not. It's coming. Yahawashi is coming in like manner. This is Second Kings 6:15. And when the servant of the man of Yahawah, Bahasham, was risen early and gone forth behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, At last, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahawah Bahasham, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahawah opened his eyes, for the young opened up the eyes of the young man, and he saw, behold, mountains was full of horses, chariots of fire round about Elisha. And that's a metaphor. The mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire. Those were chariots that was all around Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. You know? And this is another verse on the chariots. You know? These are the vehicles that, you know, you know, another thing of the chariots. This is when Elijah went up in a whirlwind, and this is 2 Kings 2:9, and it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask, what shall I do for thee before I am taken away from thee? And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou askest a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elisha went up by the whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha was transfigured. He didn't die. And he went straight back up into the chariot. The chariot transfigured him. And Elisha saw it and cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. And this is when Elisha was taken up. And he took on, Elijah took on the mantle, being the prophet of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You know? In fact, let's see. Nah, that's good on that. This is Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh in the clouds, and every eye shall see him. They also which pierced him, and the cloud is a metaphor for the chariot. All the kindred of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, it be true. And he's coming in the clouds. The clouds is a metaphor for the chariots. Let me see if I could get that in here. I think I gotta go read lexicon. No. Oh, Homer down. No. No. Well, let's keep going. No. Nah. No. Let's see if I go to root word. No. Let's keep it going. This is the second coming of Yahawashi. Matter of fact, I want this one first. I want Matthew 24 and 27. For as lightning coming out of the east, shining even unto the west, so shall also this coming of the Son of Man be. And that's how fast Yahawashi and the angels are going to be moving to gather up the hopeful elect in the 1/3. The scriptures say the elect shall scarcely be saved. Some of the elect are still going to be living in the same time when Yahawashi returns. Matter of fact, the scriptures say when he returns, he shall find faith on the earth. And that's the elect in the 1/3. For whatsoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered. And the carcass is the Israelites, the hopeful elect in the 1/3, and the eagles are the angels, you know, and the glorious return. That's the second coming of Yahawashi. Yahawashi prophesied of his own return right here This is Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. And that's during the nuclear winter, because during this time, those nukes are going to be in play. Them nukes will be used. That's the same time when Yahawashi returns, during the great and terrible, mighty day of the Lord. And it's going to be a great day for us, but it's going to be a terrible day for the so-called heathen nations and the wicked, because this is when y'all go out of power, and we get back established as the number one nation in the world. And the stars fall from heaven. The stars falling from heaven are the thermonuclear warheads falling back down to the earth as a fig tree being shaken of a mighty figs being shaken of a mighty wind. It's going to be falling back in the archangel, back hitting the major cities in the United States of America. Uh, uh, um, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And every time one of them nuclear warheads go off, it's going to shake, rattle, and roll the earth. You know, the force, the force of one of those missiles, it's going to make the earth tremble. You know, the force of that missile. And then shall the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And there it go again. If all the tribes of the earth is mourning, hey, it's not a good thing for you. Because he's not coming to save you. He's coming to save the hopeful elect and the 1/3. And 2/3 of the Israelites going to die right along with you. You know, regardless if it's Jacob's trouble, the famine that's coming, or the thermonuclear fire that's coming that they won't be able to escape, or the nukes, or the chariots. The chariots is going to be zapping people with that concentrated energy, beating people into powder. And and they shall see the Son of Man come in the clouds of heaven, and that's a metaphor for the chariots, the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. It's all about the elect. It's all about the hopeful elect and the 1/3. This ain't got nothing to do with the heathens or the wicked or the 2/3 right now. Even though the 2/3 are going to be saved, they're going to be brought back in the loins of the elect. They're going to be born into the kingdom. You know, but this destruction is coming for all the whole earth, because anybody that's not a friend of the Most High, you're an enemy, and you're gonna be dealt with as such. You know, this is Revelation 19:11, the coming of the Mashiach. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and righteous he doth judge and make war. And his eyes was as a flame of fire, and on his head were many clouds, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Yahawah. And let's start it off again. The white horse is a metaphor for the chariot. And right, take it back at the top. Revelations 9:11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and if righteous he doth judge and make war. Yahawashi is coming to make war and pass out judgment. righteous judgment. You know, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. The many crowns is those kingdoms being taken out of power. You know, when he's coming to take these nations out of authority. You know, in fact, let me get it. This is First Corinthians 15, and I think it's around 20. The scripture I'm looking for. No. Oh, here it go, right here. 15 and 24. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahawah, even the Father, when he shall put down all rule and all authority and power. He's taking all their rulerships out. There won't be no more presidents. Won't be no more fucking kings or emperors or whatever you think they prime ministers. Won't be none of that. It's just gonna be the saints ruling over the heathens and the wicked. Once this gets established. For he must reign till he has put all enemies under his feet. And you get it? He must reign till he put all enemies under his feet. If you're not a friend of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, and you're an enemy, you know? And the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. And Israel's going to be perfect. Hey, we're gonna have them spirit. We're gonna have them new bodies. We ain't gonna never die. Hey, we're gonna walk in the law, statutes, commandments perfectly, and we'll never die again. We're gonna live forever. You know, eternal. We will be eternal beings. For he had put all things on his feet. But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Yahawah may be all in all. Everything is going to be taken out. There won't be no more rulers. Won't be no more armies, no military. After the second coming of Yahawashi, he even speaks of it in uh, 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 um, in Second Ezra, the 13th chapter. In fact, I'm gonna get that next. And he had um go back to Revelation 19 and 12. And his eyes was as a flame of fire. On his head were many crowns. He had a name that no man. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name was called the Word of the Most High. And the precept for that is John 1 and 1. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, and those are the chariots. It's going to be an armada of chariots. According to the scriptures. Matter of fact, let me get it. This is Habakkuk, 3rd chapter. Starting at 2, O Yahawah, I heard thy speech and was afraid, O Yahawah. Revive thy work in the midst of years. In the midst of years make known. In the midst of years make known, and wrath remember mercy. Because, it's been a long time since the Most High did anything for the children of Israel. This is a special prayer for the Most High to also have mercy upon the hopeful elect and the 1/3. You know, And Yahawah came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, and Shalah, his glory covered the heavens, and his glory covered the heavens. That means the chariots are going to be, it's going to blot out the sky. And the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light, and he had horns coming out of his hand, and out, and there was no hiding of his power. And those are the laser beams that's going to be zapping people like in War of the World, that Tom Cruise movie. And before him went pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his foot. And he stood and measured the earth, and behold, and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered, and the perpetual hills did bow, and his ways are everlasting. This is the second coming of Yahawashi, a Yahweh's deliverance of his people. And Yahawashi is going to be doing it. You know? Matter of fact, another good precept is in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Y'all can read it for yourselves, but this is the second coming. You know, this is the vision that Ezra seen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and get it. The second Ezra 13th chapter, start at the first verse from the top. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. He had a vision of future prophecy. And lo, there rose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with 1,000 of heavens. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And this is Yahawashi returning to gather up the hopeful elect and making war with the nations. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. Like again, Yahawashi is not coming out giving out hugs and rainbows. He's coming to kick ass and pass out judgment. But I beheld, nope. But after this I beheld, and lo, nope, nope, yep. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to do the man that came out of the sea. And all these nations are going to fight Yahawashi. Because don't nobody want to go, into bondage and lose their power and authority. Hey, they're going to fight for it. And the Most High is a man of war. Hey, it's going to be a great, epic battle, of the Most High's movie. This right here is the greatest movie production ever happened since there was ever anything produced. Hey, the Most High wrote the script. He wrote the beginning. He wrote the middle part. He wrote the end, and he wrote the all parts of it, and we're all playing our parts in it. But the greatest part is going to be Yahawashi and the angels when they come and make war with all these nations. Hey, the Most High is going to do a great work. And matter of fact, the scriptures say, Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter. This day is going to be greater than when he led the children out of Egypt. But he's going to lead them out of the north country. Gathers up from the four winds. And the north country represents America. But hey, back to the scripture right here. And after this I beheld, and lo, it was gathered a great multitude of men out of out of the number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, and the sea is a metaphor for the outer space. But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. And this great mountain is a giant chariot, a giant father ship. But I would have seen the region or the place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, yet thirst to fight. And the Most High gonna put a spirit in them, thinking they could win it, they could do anything, like these damn bullshit ass movies. Esau ended up finding a way to beat the so-called aliens in a movie. Either it'd be a bacteria, or they find a way to take over their technology and use it against them. No, none of this shit is going to happen. Hey, none of that shit's happening. That's movie shit. Hey, according to Bible prophecy, they getting taken out of power. You know? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword or any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and a tempest. And this is that laser beam. And all day, and they were all mingled, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden immovable multitude nothing was perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. And 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 and, and that's going to be the end of these militaries. They're going to be taken out like that. And it's going to be quick and speedily when Yahawashi takes them out. You know, they think they're going to be able to do something, but they're going to get overwhelmed with a superpower, superhuman entity. You know, and man, we're waiting for this thing to happen. You know, and after I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and called unto him another peaceable multitude, that's the elect and the 1/3, and there came much people unto him. There were some glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others, some were brought of them that were offered. And then I was sick through great fear, and I wakened and said, hey, this is the return of Yahawashi. Hey, scripture say, woe unto you for the day of the Lord. What is it for you? If you're not an Israelite, hey, it's not going to be a good day for you. You know, it's going to be a good day for the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, the true worshipers of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. But if you're not of that number, hey, it's going to be a terrible day for you. You know, so that's it on this video. I pray this video is edifying. With that said, all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, and Kakatah. Double honors to the apostle elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, and Shalom.